Hey there, Reuteri yogurt making community. Joey here. In this video, I want to kind of go over my current yogurt making process. I'm using this organic half and half bottled milk that I get from Costco. And just to be clear, I am not sterilizing this milk. I do not believe that sterilizing UHT milk is necessary. I'm using this as is, straight out of the bottle. But what I am sterilizing is inulin, and I'm doing it in this milk frother. Now this milk frother is cool. It heats the milk up to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and it kind of stirs it as it's heating it up, which I'll show in a minute. Now true sterilization occurs at temperatures above 180 degrees Fahrenheit, and this milk frother only goes up to 160. But I believe it's sufficient enough to kill off most of the bacteria that's going to compete with L. reuteri. So as you can see now, I'm filling up this container with roughly 250 milliliters of half and half. Next, I'm going to add 15 grams of the inulin powder. And then I'm going to get this turned on to 160 degrees and get it mixing. Now, it's going to heat it up to 160 degrees, and I'm actually going to let it sit for like 15 minutes to kind of let the heat do what it's supposed to do. And then I actually run it a second time right before I add it to the milk, just to ensure that I'm getting the correct temperature. But here's a good shot of it stirring it really well. It does a really good job of stirring it in and not leaving any clumps behind. And next I'm going to fill my yogurt maker container with all the necessary ingredients. First I'm going to add around 50 grams of yogurt starter that I made from a previous batch. Now I'm not exactly sure what's a good number or what's a good weight to add. A lot of people say 2 tablespoons, and that's roughly about 30 grams. I just been kind of like rounding up in my head to 50. It seems to work pretty good. Then I'm adding the rest of my half and half, followed by stirring the two together thoroughly. Then I'm going to pour my inulin into the mixture. Now this inulin is 160 degrees, and the milk is pretty much straight out of the refrigerator, so I'll just say 50 degrees. And the first time I did it, I tested the overall temperature of the two combined, and it raised it up to 70 degrees. So I'm well under the 100 degree starting point that L. reuteri needs to grow. And here I'm just showing that very little inulin has been left behind. The frother does a good job of stirring the milk and the inulin together. Here's one more shot of it so you can get a good idea of what's being left over. Okay, so now it's time to get the yogurt maker turned on. And I found that I need to have the water level filled up as high as it can go to get a consistent temperature from this unit. I did a temperature test, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly what the results were, other than the fact that the water level was only halfway filled up and I was not getting a consistent temperature reading. And I'm going to go ahead and say that the temperature spiked as high as 105 degrees. So after I filled the water level up all the way, I was not getting a temperature spike. And maybe if someone else has had this experience, they can leave me a comment and share what they did or did not do in order to fix the temperature. So now I'm setting the temperature and the timer to 36 hours on the unit, and we will let the magic of time produce us some fancy L. reuteri yogurt. And here is the results 36 hours later. As you can see, there is no separation, there is no off colors, and it smelled really well. You can stick a spoon in there and you can see it is very thick and creamy and very consistent. And it's Christmas time at my house, so behind the yogurt you can see we are making cookies for Santa. And in my next video I'm going to touch on an at-home test that possibly can be done that I'm still working on. Basically it's just growing the yogurt on some agar. And if you're curious what the cookies ended up looking like, here they are. Thanks for watching.